Hello, hello. So it's Madeline here, and today I want to talk about one of the biggest invisible barriers that has been created in our world, in our system that we were born into, that holds women back. And it is some form of perfectionism. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't need to be perfect. I let myself off the hook. I'm allowed to make mistakes, but just stay with me because it is so insidious. And we are bombarded by marketing, by messages that tell us we should be a certain way. So take a moment and just look at the rules that you have in your life for how things should be. And also, how do you feel about really being seen in all of your full self? In just showing up like this online, for example, not that you have to do that. But how do you get really hard on yourself for fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, thinking that somehow you have to be thin enough or smart enough, or you have to show a happy face to the world? So one of the ways that you can find out is if you say this to yourself: when I do this, then I'll be happy, or then I'll be complete. So when I find the perfect love relationship, when my kids are doing well, when I purchase this particular type of car or this house, then I will have made it. Then I can relax. And this is what I've been teaching for decades now, that when we live in that place, we're living in a contracted space in our bodies and in our lives. And it makes it hard for us to open up to other options, other opportunities, other ways of being, which is really true freedom. So there are ways we can get below this, though. And I do want to say that it's not your fault. And because we're born into this system was created way before you. It was a system that your mother, your parents lived in, and it goes back for probably thousands of years. And it's invisible. You can't really put a finger on it, but all you can tell is how it shows up in your body. The way through this is not to start, you can start doing things differently, but it's really to be okay with and feeling and embracing the emotions that simmer below these beliefs of perfectionism. So if I feel like, well, I need to be this thin, this is the root of eating disorders, right? What happens if I'm not? What feeling am I trying to avoid below that? Is it a feeling of not-enoughness or shame? And it's a process of diving down into the root of that, releasing it, and then the belief releases. But sometimes just knowing this, just being aware of this, can relieve a bit of the pressure on your shoulders, that just knowing that it's the system that you're in, and it's not a personal fault of yours. It's not your fault. And it is your responsibility for healing through it. So I work with so many women at midlife that are just coming to realize these big truths that we've been living by. And it's my mission to free us of this old patriarchal conditioning that harms men as well, so that we can live our fullest and freest lives as a fully expressed human being. So I hope you'll join me in my next workshop. Is called The Second Bloom, and it's a 2-hour visioning, journaling, healing workshop. And I'm gonna reveal to you the processes that I have used for a long time to be able to even come online and speak freely about these issues. So we're going to overcome fear, shame, and guilt at the root of perfectionism, and then envision our lives led by our desires as opposed to our shoulds. How does that sound? I'll leave the link below. I hope you'll join me, and I've got some good stuff coming up, so stay with me. Bye for now, everyone.